Japan isn't perfect. We back with another video. What's up, y'all? This one is by Geopode. Let's see. Damn, Japan isn't perfect. Well, I be hearing some crazy things happening in Tokyo. Some trafficking things. Some hoe things. You know what I'm saying? Let's get into the video though.
Isn't perfect, okay? I said it. And yeah, I know they have all these good things going for them. I'm not denying that, but it's a bit suspicious, honestly, when everything I hear about Japan is positive. Well, today that's all about to change, because my hating ass is gonna explain how Japan isn't quite perfect. Alright? We're talking natural disasters easily ruining your day. I mean, look at this guy. Relaxing drive ruined. We're talking gigantic parasitic cults that lead people to do insane shit, like assassinating the president. Oh, and I almost forgot the tourists, the goddamn Westerners, the weebs, the fans that plague Japan's streets and America's basements alike. I mean, people literally get online stardom from just being awful tourists in Japan. Yeah, these guys really put the pan in Japan, because I imagine the majority of locals want to just get a pan and knock them unconscious. Actually, in Japan, taking matters into your own hands might not be the worst move, honestly, since the Japanese police are so inept and ineffective. So many crimes go unsolved in Japan, unless they see you jaywalking or littering. It's like the only two crimes they actually care about.
Littering is prohibited in Japan. Pains up to 5 years.
Solving. Anything else is guaranteed ending up
5 years for littering.
On a top 10 creepy unsolved Japanese police cases YouTube compilation. One thing I think is the root of a lot of Japan's current day problems is the
I'm just sorting money,
culture. So, you know, the Tokyo zombies, the locked-in epidemic. Basically, this problem kind of stems from the aftermath of that big war they lost. The country was in absolute ruin after World War II, and the government, alongside all the emerging businesses, out of necessity pummeled out this narrative, which really plays on the traditional emphasis of pride and honor in Japanese culture, that if you aren't dedicating 110% of your life to working and therefore rebuilding the economy, you're a traitor and a disgrace to your entire bloodline, and you essentially don't exist as a human. Whilst this did play a
any Caribbean person
big role in rebuilding the economy, it also had such a massive impact on Japanese work culture and was able to spiral so far out of control that now your typical daily routine as a Tokyo businessman includes sitting in a cramped booth to endure 12 hours of frantic amphetamine fueled work, then collapsing on the metro out of sheer exhaustion or alcoholic escapism, waking up the next morning deep in some random suburb, slapping some cold water on your face and doing it all again. And this is totally accepted and even kind of rewarded in Japan. For example, it's common when you see one of these passed out businessmen to leave cold water beside them in some kind of ceremonial circle, so that when they wake up they can freshen up and get
this
back
is for real?
to crunching
You boys just be falling asleep anywhere?
I will admit though, this does pull on my heartstrings a little bit. I mean, if you pass out on the street in the UK, you're getting robbed, pissed on, teabagged. Best thing you're gonna wake up surrounded by is a bunch of pigeons pecking at your nose hairs. But yeah, there's one thing I can't fault Japan for, it's the honest friendliness and hospitality in their culture. I mean, bro, if someone gifted me a $400 tub of perfect strawberries, or a $500 bunch of the world's best grapes, or a $450 square
what the fuck is that? Yo, the black people would love that
melon, I would probably just evaporate with gratitude, honestly. I don't know if my physical form could handle such a generous gesture, you know?
Block ad.
One thing that defines an especially annoying tourist in Japan is when people from the other side of the world travel there with no knowledge of the Japanese language whatsoever. Literally only 30% of Japan's population speaks English. So if Japan interests you and you think you might...
Bro, Japanese is one of the hardest languages to learn.
Maybe visit one day. It would be best to start getting them basics down right now. That's where italki comes in. Using this online language learning platform, you can take personalized through conventional lessons.
Is this whole thing
when I took language classes in school, I genuinely didn't get big shame. The honesty and pride of Japanese people has been exploited in such a way where people literally just operate as money-making computers, completely devoted to their nation. I mean, I know ultra capitalism is the foundation of current day Japan and produced a utopia and all that. But bro, you don't want a smoke break at least, blood? This robotic hard work sentiment over generations has spiraled so out of hand that now holidays and time off in general are like low-key taboos in Japan. Less than 80...
Damn, bro, he going too fast. Less than 19% of Japanese employees use up all their annual paid leave, according to a new study, despite the government's efforts to encourage them to take the... Damn, bro. It's crazy.
15% of people take their annual paid leave off, which is insane. If you're Japanese, there's a higher chance you'll die of a stroke or a stress-related physical condition than in other Western countries. Plus, Japan literally invented its own form of heart failure, known as Takotsubo cardiomyopathy, I think, which is essentially a month-long heart attack caused by extreme stress that is usually cured by just chilling the fuck out. This is such a big problem.
Heart attack
is literally begging its citizens to go on holiday more, because not only are workers dropping dead from stress, also their airlines are failing because no one uses them. But by far the biggest problem this toxic work culture has created is what I like to call the -100 Riz pandemic, also more formally known as population collapse. Essentially, because so many Japanese citizens spend so much of their energetic youth completely locked in and not out there cheating, basically young people are starting to have really trash social skills.
I bet.
They really don't be making babies like that.
Bro, if you 100% locked into work and whatever you have to do for yourself, bro, everything else gonna fall off, bro. You have to have a balance. But Japan is apparently not that kind of place.
Each year the amount of marriages significantly falls, and it's even been reported that currently 70% of men in their 20s in Japan have no spouse or partner. Even the couples that do exist are kind of brainwashed to only think money, money, money. And I don't know if you know, but having a kid costs a lot of money. Therefore, straight up, no one is having any babies. And some companies are having an absolute blast exploiting loneliness.
Y'all think America is bad? Y'all don't know what y'all have, man. Y'all don't.
Us in Japan, whilst before they just made fortunes.
The way how this man is talking,
now it's leveled
sounds
up.
terrible.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense choosing an anime pillow or an online digital waifu over an actual human when you spend 12 hours a fucking day in a tiny office crunching numbers like Cheerios after a night out. To add to this problem though, Japanese healthcare is kinda just too good, and Japanese people are kinda just too healthy due to their traditional diet, the cleanliness of cities, and simply their genes.
Too good is
Why
crazy.
on earth is that a problem? Well, it means lots of old people, and I mean fucking shit tons of old people. What?
Oh yeah, because that makes sense. If more people have better health, then more are living, then more people are gonna be old in the hospital. Or in general, I'm actually just more old people in general, actually. Damn.
1 in 10 people in Japan are 80 or over. Over 30% of Japanese people are 65 plus. Compare that 30% to the USA's 16% and China's 11%. You can see how insane and unprecedented that is. And unfortunately, as we know, old people die more than young people. So as less Japanese babies are born, but more Japanese old people die, the population is absolutely collapsing. It went down by 800,000 last year alone.
Living with opioid addiction can be a struggle. Trapped.
Japan is like that?
Withdrawal and cravings.
Now, usually countries don't fare amazingly with big population declines like this, but it's especially bad for countries that are so reliant of massive, consistently growing domestic urban workforces, a bit like Japan has been for the last 80 years. Japan's whole business model completely falls apart with population falling and average age getting older, because old people retire and don't generate money for the state. Actually, they do the opposite. Japan's social welfare spending is set to rise 60% by 2040, and to fund that, Japan is going to have less young, dedicated, taxable workers than before. In 2010, there were 128 million Japanese people. By 2056, we could very possibly be looking at it dropping below 100 million. See, the problem with relying on your country's individuals to act as money-generating components within some big fuck-off engine is that if those individuals stop multiplying like they used to and start dropping dead from stress, stress, you end up with less components but the same big engine. And you can't run an engine with half the required amount of pistons or valves, can you? For example, property
He's
recession.
doing good right
less
there.
people,
What?
same amount of houses. More supply, less demand. The market is crashing. That's just one of thousands of examples of how population decline is abysmal for Japan's economy and its fucking 92% urbanized population. Now, the Japanese government knows all this, and they're now desperately trying to backtrack and decrease the wide-scale urbanization they were
How you gonna do that? Destroy some buildings?
so frantic to create half a century ago. They're
He's
offering
cooked.
millions of yen to young people in return for them moving out of Tokyo and starting more rural lives. They're launching advertising campaigns intended to get young people out drinking and improving their social skills. They're doubling spending on childcare and considering literally giving new parents cash payouts. And funniest,
What is this? What they blowing in? What? Oh, I need to go to Japan.
first of all, they're funding adverts on TV, which essentially
Japan is
just
taking
promote
extreme measures to defeat this.
banging. And I do think it's pretty hilarious that all those years of forcing notoriously cold, harsh, robotic, strictly profit-focused values down Japanese people's throats just led to the government desperately running ad campaigns promoting partying, sex, and farms. Exactly what they were originally trying to discourage. Fucking awesome, man.
That's crazy. Damn, that's crazy, bro. Damn, Japan going through it, bro. I did not know any of that. Damn. So much old people. Dog, that's crazy how the healthcare is too good and people are like too healthy. In America, is like the healthcare is backwards. Like the healthcare is just too trash and people are too unhealthy. So hospitals be full, but there's never enough workers for the people, or the insurance is just way too much of people and doesn't really cover too much things. Like one ambulance trip is like $800, bro. An ambulance trip 2 miles away, bro. You picking me up 2 miles away from me having some heartburn, bro, and you gonna charge me $800 just to drive. If that was the case, I would just drove in my car like this. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, shit crazy though. Anyways, I'll catch y'all in the next one. Appreciate y'all for watching. Boop.